Hello there, and welcome to this video. My name is Jay, and we are going to talk about some Godzilla stuff today. We're going to talk about a newer figure that I got within the past couple weeks, and we're going to talk about not my first Godzilla figure, but the first one I've got in my adulthood that's kind of led to me going a little crazy on Godzilla stuff. And that is a dog drinking water, and I will continue to not edit the videos. So without further ado, let's talk about it. So a few years ago, a independent film company or fan, I'm not really sure, entered a contest held by Toho, which is the studio that makes Godzilla films, to make a Godzilla movie. They're called Gemstone. They won that competition, and they have since produced two Godzilla shorts that have been shown at least at Godzilla Fest, and I'm not sure. I apologize. I'm not super great on it. I don't know how to say it, but they are wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. They take every bit of cool and fun from all iterations of Godzilla and just put them into these shorts. So the most recent one, which was last year, or 2 years ago, I think now, was Godzilla vs. Megalon. Well, basically Megalon. And it was a kind of a really great moment for Megalon fans. If you're familiar with it, Megalon first showed up, and technically really only showed up in Godzilla vs. Megalon. Goodness, I should know the year, but I don't. But it's a Showa film. It's really goofy. It showed up on goodness, you know, when you get to an adult and you have undiagnosed ADHD, you know so many things and you remember nothing. You've seen it, Godzilla vs. Megalon. It was a kind of held as a joke. It's a very funny movie with a lot of ridiculous things, and Megalon is the punchline of a lot of those jokes. And he was briefly seen in Godzilla Final Wars, I believe. I'm not sure. No, I'm already confusing that. No, I don't believe he was in Final Wars. So he has not been seen outside of the video games. And until this latest Gemstone video. And I wish I had a Megalon toy to show and reference to see like what the old style version is that looks like this newer one, but you just have to take my word for it. They did a lot of good stuff to Megalon. And yeah, so this is the redone toy. I've left the tag on it for right now. Sorry collectors, this is going to go away at some point. I believe this is from Bandai, and it's a limited movie series. And yeah, I like it a lot. You'll see it with the other toy I want to talk about. It's textured really nice. Just a lot of ridges and whatnot, which, you know, doesn't matter so much in the toy, in the like the appearance in the show, but for a toy, it's nice. It's fun to handle. You'll see a theme with the toys I like. So Megalon is a giant beetle in the original show and implied in the Gemstone. He is the guardian god of the Seatopians that live underground, underwater, and they, well, they're not super happy with the folks living up on the surface, so we send big old Megalon to wreak havoc. And Megalon has these claws that you can't see it because there's not a ton of articulation, but Megalon smashes these two together, and then they start spinning like a drill, which is how it drills through the ground, and it's quite cool. Megalon also has a very nice maw with, I don't know the words for it, but pinchers and whatnot. It spits out these little fire arrows, and it has a stalk here that generates a beam as well. Megalon flies. These opens up into some wings, and Megalon's pretty cool. I'm a big fan of Megalon, and I was really happy to see him get to show up and show off in the Gemstone movie. And I'm very happy with this toy. I bought it immediately from the Godzilla store the second it was available, because I just thought this design did such justice to the kaiju. That said, I mean, there are some things I wish were a little bit better. Like this is more detailed in the short, but I mean, it's fine. Again, I'm not a sucker for articulation, but this is pretty minimal articulation. I wish we could bring the hands together. Literally, that's all it can come in, and like, I believe when it shipped, it showed up like this, which is completely wrong and backwards, but it's nice. Again, a lot of good detail. The painting seems fun. I like it a lot, and it's not an expensive toy, but it's definitely one that I'm glad to have in my collection. So, I'm going to figure out this angle here. I don't like this. I'm already propping up Grimace over here. My Antodon is, yeah. All right, so, talking more about Gemstone. I'm not going to lie, Gemstone Godzilla is my favorite iteration of Godzilla, bar none. Not just for how they're portrayed on the screen, not just for like their visuals, but they also have a really sweet implied backstory, which I won't get into now. But just take my word for it that for a Godzilla movie, there's a lot of implied character detail for this Godzilla. And like I said, this was the first one. I purchased this from Godzilla store as well. And this is Gemstone Godzilla. Very, very, very gnarly with, corrugation burns and just very textured, which again, we've already established I like a lot. It's kind of a, for what we're used to for Godzilla, it's more of a roundish face. Especially when when its mouth shut, it's very like bulldogish. I like it a lot. It's a very long. You can almost see I tried to include that. It's for a Bandai figure. I think it's very, very long. Like this is over 10 inches. It's almost, yeah, it's over 10 inches, over 11 inches in total length. When just not so much at all. And I like it a lot. This, much like Megalon, there's not a ton of articulation, but there's enough for what you need for a figure. Despite that, you can see the joints here that are kind of obvious. The tail doesn't move, but that's fine. It's a very pleasing toy to touch. And I had to bring this home from my work office because this is generally one, when I'm stressing or I need to think about stuff, this is a lot of times, I don't do super great with fidget toys, but something like this that I can just kind of manhandle while I'm doing my job is nice. And that's why immediately after this video, this will be going back to work because I need him. Something that I was worried about when I got this is I thought when I was looking at it that scale was going to be all wrong for this, because this was made in response to the first short, Gigan Rex. This is the second one, and just looked at it, I thought Megalon was going to be too big, but I watched the short real quick before I started this video, and actually, to be honest, Godzilla's, at least Godzilla's head, they might actually be too big, so that probably does scale up really nice. But yeah, I just wanted to show this off to you guys. It's been a little bit since I did my last video. I'll have some more stuff coming soon. So that's it. We have Gemstone Megalon and Gemstone Godzilla, my favorite Godzilla and one of my favorite figures right now. And that's it. I will talk to you all later. You have a wonderful day.